All right, let's try that again. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you. Well, welcome to the Wing Runners Bird Show today. My name is Erin, and I am one of the incredibly lucky trainers who get to work here 5 out of the 7 days of the week. And this is a free flight and natural behavior show, which means there can and will be birds flying into and above the audience today. So we have just a couple of safety guidelines before we get started here. And going to be joining me is our Chief Safety Officer of the zoo. This here is Frankie, and he's got a very important job. Once he decides to make his way on out, he's really testing the structural integrity of that branch right there. I think it'll hold you. All right. Well, as you can tell, it's a very nice day, and we've been having not so nice days recently. So some of our birds might be acting a little bit silly. Frankie, I think your job's out here, buddy. Wanna come on? I'll give you a little boost. There he comes. Nicely done. Well, while he's out here, he's gonna ask that while our birds have their wings up, you have your hands down and remain seated. That way our birds are gonna have some nice predictable flight paths, and they may even choose to fly closer to you today, which is a much better way to enjoy the show in my experience. And if you do have to leave at any point in the middle of the show, that is totally okay. I'm just gonna cry about it a little bit later on, but just make sure you head over the back side of the big grassy hill, as there tends to be some less flight traffic in that direction. And I will let you in on a secret. Frankie here is a spy, and he's getting those 360s in because he's on the lookout for any of your snacks. While Frankie here is a true gentleman, he would never go out there and steal from you. I can't say the same thing about myself, so who brought lunch? No, nothing cheesy? Oh, up there? No, I'm kidding. All right, but it would be some of our feather coworkers we need to look out for. So if you do have anything, that's okay. Just keep it close to you, keep it hidden. If you drop it, just give it a good old smush and a push into the dirt, and we will be back after the show to pick it up for you. Right, Frankie? All right. I think they are going to be a fantastic audience for us today. Do you want to head on back? There he goes. And it's a good thing Frankie's heading on out of here, because he is a parrot, and he would not want to be out here for a bird of prey, because that's what we're going to be starting off with. And this one does require a short history lesson for all of my fans out there, because millions of years ago, there was something called the terror bird. It stood about 10 feet tall, it weighed over 1,000 pounds, and that did not slow it down, because it could also run up to 60 miles per hour. Now, luckily for us, that bird is long gone and extinct. But we do have its descendants here today, so I hope you're feeling pretty brave, because here comes Victoria. Yeah, not that scary, right? But she is a red-leg Seriama, and she does have a pretty ferocious prey of preparing her food. And that's by whacking it on a rock. And Victoria here has to do that because she can't actually chew on her food quite like you or I might. She has to swallow it down in just one bite. So by doing this wacky behavior, she's helping to ensure that all of that meat and bone is nice and pulverized so that she can get it down in just one gulp. But don't worry, it is not National Geographic out here on this stage. This is a family-friendly show, so you will notice that is a fake rubber alligator out here. But I am throwing her some very real meat pieces on the side, as this is a normal natural behavior. And if she stops getting food out of it, she may decide to quit the behavior altogether. So we want to make sure she's getting nice and reinforced for this. Let's see if we can't get one final smack. Really line it up? All right, you need to do it on the rock for them. If you have your eagle eyes yourself, you may notice that this reptile is missing all of its limbs, and that's because Victoria is very good at her job. And she's off in a flash. Nicely done. Well, thank you. And Victoria is incredibly fast. She's super agile, a fantastic hunter, and I would not use any of those words to describe myself. I do not run, but that's okay, because neither does our next animal coming on out. She will be kettling way high in the sky, looking for her food already long gone and dead. And I know that sounds a little gross and disgusting, but I do encourage you to remember that many of us also go to the grocery store to find our food dead as well. It just comes in some nicer packaging. But we are going to be meeting a scavenger by the name of Beetlejuice. All right, show of hands, who has seen that movie before? We got a couple? All right, so we do need to summon our Beetlejuice the exact same way you do in the movie by saying that name 3 times in a row. And I am going to need all of your help today because we're competing with that helicopter. But she also sees me all the time. She's incredibly bored of me, and she would really love to meet some new victims. Guests. Yeah, you'll be fine, I think. But it looks like we are nice and ready over there, so let's go ahead and get started. We're saying Beetlejuice 3 times on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice. Oh, it worked perfectly. This is Beetlejuice the Black Vulture. And we can tell that she's a black vulture because she actually has those lovely white tips on the edges of her wings, as well as that very bald and beautiful head. And that's because she eats something called carrion, which is just a fancy word for dead, rotting, gross animal. And that bald head helps to ensure that all that carrion does not become carry out. Those are 2 very different menu items you do not want getting mixed up. But Beetlejuice here is also a vital member of nature's cleanup crew because she can actually eat and digest things such as anthrax, Ebola, rabies, even the bubonic plague, things we do not want coming up to us. So she is a fantastic member of that cleanup crew, and she did a great job today. Thank you, Beetlejuice. Now, we're not really going to be finding vultures like Beetlejuice over here on the West Coast. She's more native to the East Coast, down into the Caribbean. But we are home to our very own turkey vulture as well. I'm sorry. I usually bring out a paper towel with me, but I seem to have misplaced it. Can someone behind the scenes run me out a paper towel? I was just telling you how gross Beetlejuice's food was, and I don't want to use my pants like some people. That's gross. Yeah, you got a hand up? A bird threw my paper towel away? I know this is a bird show, but the birds don't really do that. They kind of represent all the other different behaviors. Okay, I believe you. I think a bird towel might have been thrown away by a bird. Well, thank you very much, Alex, for helping me out. This is our African white-necked raven, Alex. He does have a pretty impeccable memory. Much better than mine. I do seem to misplace that paper towel every single day. But we will continue on, and we are going to stick in the theme of Africa for this next bird. And she does have about a 7-foot wingspan and some pretty low-hanging landing gear. So if you do by any means feel the urge to duck when this bird comes out, I do encourage you to do so. Those are your survival instincts talking to you. Because we are going to be meeting Sarah, an East African crowned crane. And I know that name may sound pretty long, but I promise it is not at all complicated. It just means that Sarah here is from Eastern Africa. She does have that beautiful crown of feathers on her head, and she is, of course, a species of crane. Now, those feathers on her head are pretty unique because we do not have a scientific reason as to why she might have them, but we do have a couple of pretty good guesses. It could be to help her blend into the savanna that she lives on, or even to stand out and attract a potential mate. We do encourage you to make your own guesses and think critically as to why she might have those feathers, but personally, I just choose to believe she kind of woke up and really enjoyed her hairstyle this morning. Now, out there in the wild, Sarah is what we call an omnivore, so she'll be eating a lot of different items, different fruits and veggies. Ooh, nice ducking. Different snakes, or even a lizard if she could catch it. But she is not Bird Show's best hunter, so she's going to be mostly sticking with some superworms, which do happen to be her favorite snack here. And if any of you do come from a large family, Sarah does as well. She lives in flocks of almost 150 birds. Now, we do not have 150 birds behind the scenes. That would be just a little bit crazy. But we do have her twin sister Rex, as well as all of us trainers here, and even you all in the audience today. Because out there in the wild, she's not going to see every member of that 150 bird flock. So you're all just some distant cousins that she hasn't seen in a little while. And if any of you do come from a large family, you know just how important communication can be. And Sarah will do this in a number of ways. She may bob her head up and down, she'll flap her wings, she'll do a little bit of a courtship dance, but the one thing that makes her truly unique is her ability to communicate through blushing. As she takes a walk on by, you're going to notice she has these lovely white cheek patches, and that is one of the only parts of her body, except her legs, that do not have any feathers on them. And that is truly her skin. So if she saw something really exciting like a superworm, her favorite snack, she's going to flash a nice light pink, just letting everyone know, hey, I'm having a pretty good time, but no need to panic. Everything is A-okay. But if she saw something a lot scarier like a predator, something wrestling out in the bushes, she's going to be turning a deep, dark red. And that is going to alert everyone that something scary is going on. We need you to pay attention right now. So she's going to be flashing bright red, the birds around her would flash bright red, and the birds around those birds would also flash bright red, until next thing you know, you've got an entire flock of some sunburnt cranes. Now, luckily we're not really going to be seeing Sarah Blush out here on this stage, because she's been doing this show for about 26 years now. She is truly a professional, and during that time, she has learned a pretty stellar runway strut. Ooh, some wings for you all today. Who needs New York Fashion Week? We've got the bird show. And with Sarah's departure, we are going to be taking a flight over from Africa to the tropical rainforests of the world next, because they are one of the most biodiverse locations on this earth. They are home to a lot of life, including different plants and animals, and it brings us a lot of our favorite things like fresh air, water, coffee, and chocolate. But of course, we are a bird show, so we're going to be exploring that through the wonderful world of parrots. And joining me out here is Peabody. And parrots are known for one thing in particular, and that is their ability to mimic. But a lot of people like to say talking. And I do hate to break it to everyone here. Parrots, they don't actually know how to talk. They don't really know what you're saying. They cannot hold intelligent conversations, but they are fantastic at repeating sounds from their environment. So at home, it could be the fire alarm going off, the oven beeping, the baby crying. The more annoying the sound, the more likely they'll choose to repeat that over and over again. But out in the wild, it could sound like other birds, maybe leaves in the wind, or even a bigger, scarier predator. But if you are truly lucky in the home setting, you may find a parrot that happens to mimic some human speech. And that is how you get a talking parrot. And luckily for you all today, Peabody here is pretty fantastic and loves to start by telling everybody, "Hi!" Why, hello there. Now this is usually a two-bird act, but Peabody's co-star is deciding to take the day off, and that's totally okay. But she still likes to do the honors of trying to call her out. Calling on Gabby today. Gabby said, "No thanks, I'm gonna take a nap." And that's totally all right. We don't blame her. But if she was out here, what would you say? Hi, Birdie. What? Hi, Birdie. Well, hi, Birdie. Now, Peabody is a yellow-naped Amazon, and typically in the wild, they're going to be found in Central America and Mexico, but she was raised even closer to home on a farm, where she learned to mimic lots and lots of barnyard animals. So let's get started with another bird friend of yours. Do you want to show off your chicken? That sounds like a weird chicken. We'll give you one more chance. You want to show off that chicken? There it is. I think we can go a little bit bigger, something more impressive. You want to show off a horse? Not bad. And while Peabody may have given it a little away, there were lots of cats running around, and she was a bit of a daredevil and would love to mess with the cat. Yeah. A little bit foolish for a bird, some might say, but she's a daredevil at heart. But also on that farm were lots of radios, because there was humans roaming around too, so she does have her very own song for you all today. It is a classic from the late, great Tony Bennett. We'll see if you recognize it. You want to start by clearing your throat? And you're singing? Nicely done. You got that one? Yeah, I see that San Francisco jersey over there. For those who didn't, it's "I Left My Heart" in Francisco. Peabody's version. And I don't want to fool you all, while I am having a great time with Peabody on stage here, she certainly thinks I'm a hoot. I don't want you to go off and get your own laughing, talking, singing bird, thinking it's going to be able to do all these things. While there is a slight possibility it might, what you are absolutely guaranteed that I even get from Peabody here is a bird that screams incredibly loud all day long. They can be heard up to a mile out, so even your neighbors are going to hear that too. A bird that's going to chew on everything in your home, from your walls to your furniture. And worst of all, a parrot that's going to poop once every 15 minutes. What? Bad and silly bird right from the parrot herself. We did not set her up for that at all. But that behavior may seem bad and silly on the human side of things, but they're both normal and natural, and we actually encourage them here at the bird show, because all that biting and chewing allows her to break into different nuts and seeds. Even the screaming keeps her in contact with her flock through the dense rainforest. And pooping every 15 minutes helps to ensure that that rainforest floor is staying nice and fertilized, keeping those things like fresh air, water, coffee, and chocolate in our lives. So I'm quite happy to have parrots out there in the wild doing that job and not in the four walls of our own homes. I can let you know everyone here at Bird Show does go home to nice, quiet, parrot-free homes. But if that isn't enough to convince you, I will let you know Peabody here does have the intelligence of about a human 3-year-old. Yeah, and you live for 60 plus years. Yeah, so all these adults out in the audience, you get the toddler stage for the rest of your life. And they can fly, so I'm sure you'll love it. Personally, I do not. But like any 3-year-old, I think she is prepped to go back for her mid-afternoon nap. But before she heads back, she does like to say goodbye to each and every single one of you today. And I've got plans after work, so let's go ahead and get started. Down there, bye.
Bye.
Miss Courtney.
Bye.
Say bye to Gabs.
Bye.
Miss Serena.
Bye.
And Wes.
Bye.
And Lauren.
Bye.
And Gavin. What'd you do, dude? No, I'm kidding. Say bye.
Bye.
And Amanda.
Bye.
Right here in front. He's recording.
Bye.
People more.
Bye.
Spider-Man.
Bye.
All the way up top. Whew. No, I'm kidding. Say bye.
Bye.
Couple more.
Bye.
Over here.
Bye.
They're waving.
Bye.
All right, keep it going. Right here in the front, some
Bye.
cheetahs. There you go.
Bye.
All the way down there.
Bye.
Oh, in the blue.
Bye.
He's very excited. All
Bye.
right, here in the front.
Bye.
In the purple.
Bye.
Oh, there too.
Bye.
All right, right here. All right,
Bye.
everyone on this side.
Bye.
Everyone on this side.
Bye.
Back over there.
Bye.
And over here.
Bye.
All right, I think we hit everyone.
Bye.
Oh, we're still going. All right, how about just 3 more? How
Bye.
about 2 more?
Bye.
1 more?
Bye.
And a big kiss. There it is. Hopefully that kiss covers anyone Peabody might have missed today. But she is gonna head back for her very own nap. But that does not mean we are done with the world of Amazons. Because while Peabody showed off her amazing ability to mimic, we're gonna have another bird coming out showing her ability to create a nest. But for this to work, I am going to need the help of one adult volunteer who happens to have a dollar bill on hand. Ooh, with a fresh haircut. Looking pretty nice, sir. Go ahead and stand up exactly where you're at. Exactly where you're at. Perfect. You're gonna take that dollar bill, fold it in half, and fold it in half one more time. And if you could believe it, fold it in half one more time after that. Perfect. Pinch it between your right finger and thumb, just like so. There you go. Out to the side, you're gonna make a lovely landing platform for my friend Gizmo, who is coming on out in just a moment. Here she comes. If she was out there in the wild building a nest, she'd want to find a branch or a leaf or a twig, or a dollar bill in this case, and she'd go out there, she'd land, she'd say, yeah, that looks pretty nice. What are you gonna do with it? Bring it on home and into my pocket. Nicely done. We're going to McDonald's. No, I'm kidding. You probably want it back. Go ahead, stand up. Do a nice flat palm. Now, she was building that nest and it didn't quite fit. She would actually return it back to where it came from, just like so. She says that dollar bill is a counterfeit. Nicely done. But thank you to Wes, our volunteer, and thank you to Gizmo, who did a great job. Thank you. Now, unfortunately, out there in the wild, birds like Gizmo are in critical danger. But the good news is that it is due to human-caused threats, which means there are human-caused solutions. Simple things we can do every single day to help out, like reduce, reuse, recycle, or picking up trash when you see it. That is going to help out animals in your own backyard. But you can also do things just like coming here to the zoo today. By being here, a portion of your ticket or membership or even something from the gift shop goes into a conservation fund helping out 23 projects, both locally and globally, including parrots like Bubba and Baggy here. And if you do want to take it a step further, we do have another donation opportunity for you today. Set up on my right is going to be a donation box with a very lovely bird named Goofy on there. And he won't fly to you quite like Gizmo will, but he'll take it directly from your hand and put it into the box he is standing on. And none of that money stays here at the bird show or even the zoo. It goes directly to that conservation fund. So you'll be making a direct impact on wildlife. But no worries if you can't or don't want to donate. Remember, just by being here today, you have already helped out. So we still encourage you to come on down, ask us any questions you might have. Goofy, when he decides to make his way on out, will even give you a little bit of a goodbye. Come here, good sir. Hello. Off taking his time today. He'll even give you a little bit of a wave goodbye if he's feeling nice, right? Yeah. Then we'll have some other feathered friends for you to meet up close and personal. But from all of us here at the Wing Wonders Bird Show, we truly appreciate you spending your afternoon with us, and we hope you enjoy the rest of your day here at your Fresno Chaffee Zoo. Bye, everyone!